Well, hello, my valued listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Living in Your Power. I'm your host, Dr. Marleen Greenleaf, and I'm so glad you're here. This month, we're embracing the theme of love and connection. But today, I want to take that a step further and make it somewhat personal. I'll be sharing a bit about my recent bout with vertigo and how it reminded me of the importance of rest, listening to our bodies, and managing stress. We'll also touch on the weight of current events, such as the recent plane crashes, the decisions coming out of the White House, and the general sense of unease many of us are feeling right now. Listen, it may feel like a lot, but I want this episode to be an anchor. A reminder that no matter what's happening around us, we can still find love, peace, and connection in our daily lives. So let's get into it. Let me start by being real with you. This past week, I had a bout with vertigo and it shook me. I wasn't just dizzy. I felt completely off balance, nauseated, and for someone who's always on the go, it was frustrating as heck. But you know what? It was also a wake-up call. My body was telling me to slow down and to let go of the stress I've been carrying. And isn't that something so many of us struggle with? We push and push ourselves until our bodies forces us to stop. My sister had told me, I shared this with my sister, and I told her, I said, maybe this is God's way of saying, sit your ass down. And she's like, oh, no, not just sit your ass down. Sit your old ass down. Listen, I took that with grace because I knew it was coming from a place of love. So thank you, Sherry Ann, and thank you, God. Now, if you're listening to this and you've been running on empty, take this as your sign to pause. Rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. I'll say that again. Rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Taking care of yourself is an act of love, not just for you, but for those around you. So as we talk about love and connection this month, I want us to think beyond romantic love. Love is also about how we care for ourselves, how we connect with our community, and how we show up for the people in our lives. I want you to ask yourself, am I giving myself the same love and patience I extend to others? Am I nurturing the connections that matter? And am I making space for real, meaningful relationships? One of the most beautiful ways to embrace love is simply to be present. Call that friend. Hug your kids a little longer. Check on your loved ones. So let's not take connection for granted. I know many of us are feeling the weight of what's happening in the world currently. For example, the recent plane crashes. On January 29th, a tragic mid-air collision occurred over the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. An American Eagle, Flight 5342, and a Bombardier collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter as the plane was approaching the Ronald Reagan Airport. All 64 passengers and crew members on the plane, as well as the 3 members on the helicopter, perished in the accident. Now, this incident marks the deadliest U.S. air crash in over 2 decades. And just 2 days later, on January the 31st, a medical evacuation flight operated by a jet rescue air ambulance crashed shortly after takeoff from the Philadelphia airport. The Learjet 55 was transporting a pediatric patient, her mother, and 4 crew members, all Mexican nationals, en route to Tijuana with a planned stop in Missouri. But tragically, all 6 individuals on board lost their lives. The crash also caused significant damage on the ground, setting multiple homes ablaze and resulting in additional injuries. Now, these consecutive tragedies have deeply affected communities and raised concerns about aviation safety. Investigations by federal authorities are ongoing to determine the causes of boat incidents. These events have been heartbreaking, but they serve as a somber reminder of life's unpredictability and the importance of cherishing our connections with loved ones. It feels like every time we turn on the news, there's something else that makes us uneasy. The decisions being made at the highest levels of government, the uncertainty about what's next. So it's understandable to feel overwhelmed. But here's what I want to remind you. We are not powerless. Yes, we can't control everything, but we can control how we show up in our own lives. We can choose to spread love and light even when the world feels dark. We can protect our peace by stepping away from the noise when it gets too heavy. Most importantly, let's hold on to faith. No matter how uncertain things feel, God is still in control. So here's what I want you to take from today's episode. First, I want you to listen to your body, rest when you need to, and stress less. Second, embrace love in all its forms within yourself, in your relationships, and in your community. And third, stay hopeful, even in the face of uncertainty. Control what you can and trust in what you cannot. And here's my challenge for you today. Take one small step toward love and connection this week. Whether it's caring for yourself, reaching out to someone, or simply finding a moment of peace in the chaos. I want you to be intentional with this. Thank you for joining me today. And I want you to remember to live boldly in your power. And if it gets tough, just breathe. You still got the strength to rise. So until next time, my dear listeners, stay safe, stay empowered, and I'll see you back here soon. I want you to continue to live in your power. And let us celebrate Black History Month with a vengeance. Let us not forget.